What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Fomo Factory. Let's take a look at Bitcoin on the slightly shorter time frame, what we can expect today, the coming days, but also on a slightly higher time frame, and especially for altcoins, because a chart is telling me that this week might be the last week before we really see a big move. Is it to the up or the downside? I would say keep watching the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and smack the like button so you push it a little bit into YouTube's algorithm. Would help me a lot, of course. Now, the first thing I would like to say about Bitcoin is what stands out to me. I usually don't check out these smaller term time frames because I like the longer term more. But on the shorter term, what I noticed is every time that Bitcoin is ranging or whatsoever, and we go down in these small steps, but every time we go up, like now, it's usually in one or a couple of candles, but it's quite fast all the time, right? We shot up right here, we shot up right here, we shot up right here, here, and now again we shot up right here as well. So it says a lot about the demand, and that even in this range, it's a battle, right? It's a battle because this $28,500, $29,000 level is major resistance for Bitcoin. I'm not gonna lie, it's major resistance, and I don't think we are that easily gonna break it. But I have to give it to the bulls right here because they are not going down without a fight. It's very strong. I just wonder how long they are able to maintain this. And yeah, we could definitely, like I said like a week ago or so, like we could definitely stay in this range for a while. And why did I say that? Well, it's very simple. If you take a look at the Bollinger Bands, which is now coming a little much more closer to each other, but they were very far from each other, and usually if they squeeze, that's when you see a big move coming out of it, whether it's to the up or the downside. But that's usually what you see. We were squeezing right here and you had that major move to the downside. We were squeezing right here and we had that major move to the upside, and now it is finally looking like we are squeezing again. So a big move seems to be coming for Bitcoin. I'm very curious how this is going to play out, and that's what we try to check out on this channel, of course. That's on the daily time frame. If we look at the weekly time frame, however, it's not that exciting yet. I mean, if you look at previous times, for example 2015, we were squeezing really hard right here and we got a major bull run. Here we were squeezing and we went all the way down. Well, I can give you all of these examples. We are still pretty far from each other right now, so it's not going to be a major macro move, in my opinion. Even that move from 15 to 29K wasn't the move that I'm looking for when it comes to a major macro move. But on the daily time frame, it's actually looking like a move is about to happen. It might take a few days yet still, but it's definitely going to happen. Now, I do want to say something about altcoins in a minute, because that's where it's getting really exciting. But let's take a real quick look how the rest of the market is looking, so we can, have a little more information about that. So if we now, for example, take a look at the dollar is weak, man. The dollar is really weak. I mean, like I said, and that's what we want, right? If we want Bitcoin to go up, overall, the dollar has to get weak. And it was going up like crazy, and it held this trend line perfectly. We finally broke down. We went under the bull market support band, and it completely crashed. Or crashed, I mean, corrected, right? I mean, we're still way higher than where we were 2 years ago. But it's still weak. Why do I say that? Well, it's under its bull market support band. It broke this support right here. It's under the 50 daily moving average. This trend line is not even close. So the dollar, it does not have a lot of support. That 100.5 level, give or take, something like that, is, I think, a strong support level for the dollar. That's this level right here, and this goes back for not even days, weeks, months, but years, really years. So that's a level we really want to break eventually, and then I can see it go down way harder. And yeah, this lines up with the cycle of crypto so far, because this is the period where usually crypto stops crashing hard, and yeah, then you get a dollar that's weakening, of course. S&P is looking pretty good as well. I mean, was also in a downtrend, broke out, had a retest, and we're still above this trend line. Can we go back to the trend line at some point? Yeah, I mean, you know, there's a good chance that there's a recession coming, and that could definitely be a reason for the S&P to go down, even for Bitcoin to have that, you know, final draw to the downside, to put it like that. I mean, if you look at the bear market so far, we had the bottom in 2015 right here. This week is, I don't know what that was, but we basically had the bottom right here. But we had some kind of a double bottom a couple of months later, like half a year later. If you look at the bear market in 2018-19, also we had the bottom right here, and it wasn't necessarily an exact double bottom, but it came pretty close, because that was in December 2018, and in March 2020, so 1.5 years later, we almost made the double bottom, right? That's what the chart is doing. So if this was the bottom, then it might be likely that we will go near that area again, right? And a reason could be recession, right? I said before, and I even wrote it down, because it just doesn't make a lot of sense for me to find a lower low. Let me check where I have that, because it is, in my opinion. Let me show you this. This is quite interesting, if I'm honest. I want to say that a lower low, it's what a lot of people are calling for. I don't really know about that, to be honest. And I always lose these kind of notes. Let me search it for you guys. Here we go. All right. So my theory is like, yes, chart wise we could have worst case scenario a double bottom, but in my opinion will be slightly higher. And why do I think we won't go lower? Let me read this to you. We had Luna crash, 3AC, Celsius, Voyager, FTX, USDC DPEG, BUSD labeled as security. We had COVID, a worldwide pandemic. We have a war going on. There's high inflation. We have the Ronin hack that happened, one of the biggest hacks. Mt. Gox released a shitload of Bitcoins. Coinbase, Crypto.com, Kraken, Bybit, they all did layoffs because they just didn't have the money to pay all these people. All kind of regulations. And did I mention high inflation? So with all these events, sounds like a catastrophic drama for crypto. But overall, it is Bitcoin's best bear market by far so far. By far. Really by far. So if all these things can't make Bitcoin go below 15K, will one single event make that happen? And I'm not saying we can't get a full other list, but you know, the more we go into the cycle, the lower the chance for me is that we will go lower than this. So that's basically my thesis about that. What's also possible is, you know, if we compare it to other cycles, we had a bottom right here, we had some kind of a bottom right here, and then we went up. What if this was the case? We had the bottom right here, and this was some kind of a double bottom, but this one went slightly lower instead of higher, right? Because of the FTX crash. That this was already the case. Because this red line is a year before the halving, right? Usually a year before the halving, we were far away from the bottom already, and we were on our way up, right here as well. Well, not necessarily this one though. I don't know. Overall, I'm not too bearish. What I wanted to say about altcoins though, let me jump into that, because what I said multiple times is, if you look how Bitcoin went down, right, in this trend line, broke out, retest, pump. Cool. Clearly breakout of this trend line, of this major downfall, right? From the moment it bounced, or whatever you want to call it, 40% up. Great. If you now look at the total crypto market cap, also was in the downtrend, broke out, right? And from that moment, it's up 10%. So it already shows you that Bitcoin broke out and it's up 40%, but if you include the rest of the crypto market, it's just up 10%, right? So in that case, Bitcoin is leading. Plus, we did not have a retest right here. So, will altcoins still go down compared to Bitcoin? Could be. Total 2, if you take Bitcoin away from it, then you will see something completely else, because then we are also in the downtrend, but we did not have that breakout yet. Just not happened yet, right? And if you look at the total 3, so you take Ethereum away, you basically see the same thing. So that's quite that stands out to me, and it makes a lot of sense. Like I said before, I mean, the Bitcoin dominance went up pretty hard, right? So yeah, these are all charts that say, oh, whatever, some altcoins might pop, but overall your money is, one, safer with Bitcoin, and two, you just made more returns. Simple. So therefore, I said a lot lately, like, altcoins are nice, but it shows that so far being in altcoins didn't pay off, unless you were into the right altcoins. But that's overall, like, from the hundreds of thousands of altcoins, of course there are maybe 100 that pop, right? But overall, well, you see on the chart how they are doing. But what's interesting to me, and especially when I look at the total 2, so this is the crypto market except Bitcoin, so this is purely stables and altcoins, then you see this, right? On the weekly chart, you see that we are in this uptrend right here, right? On the shorter time frame, we are in this uptrend, and on the longer time frame, we are in this downtrend. But it's getting quite exciting right here. If you put it on the daily, you can see that we kind of already broke out, though, right? But it kind of also depends on how I exactly draw my lines right here, because I don't know, man. If you draw it a little bit different, then it's already broken out, or just not yet broken out. So that's quite exciting. If you look at the total 3, though, then this is what you see, right? So the total 3, I don't give this. So this is every altcoin except Ethereum. Ethereum is also an altcoin. You can say whatever you want, but it is. But then you see this, and if I draw it a little, yeah, whatever, it's fine. So what I see is that time is running out now, right? Because this is the weekly chart. So next week we will be here, right? We will be here. The altcoin market has been going sideways for at least a month, right? With its ups and downs. But basically already since January, it's been going sideways. But now we cannot do that much longer, because that would be a breakout, right? Would be a breakout. So next week we could still be here, but if we go slightly higher, then we already are breaking out. However, what's also possible is that we get pushed down right here, of course. I don't know what's going to happen, of course, because one thing says in me, like, okay, there's a high chance of a breakout this time. Something else says we are going to get rejected and see one final altcoin capitulation, the lifetime opportunity to get in, and then we will go up. Why do I say that? Well, altcoins are sitting at major resistance right now. If you look at Bitcoin is sitting at major resistance as well. If Bitcoin in the following week and maybe 2 weeks gets rejected from this area right here, which is quite likely to me, then altcoins usually follow, right? And that could be a good reason for the total 3 to go down. That's very likely. Plus, if you don't include Bitcoin, then you just look at this, and what do they say? The trend is your friend until the end of the trend, right? But there is no end of the trend yet, because we haven't broke out yet. So far, it's up, resistance, down a little bit, up, resistance, all the way down, support, try again, rejected right here, support again, resistance right here, and then support again. That's so far the trend. This support again would mean that altcoins overall will go 18% lower on average than their previous cycle all-time low. I say 18 because this also includes stable coins, and these, if everything goes well, don't go down, of course. But it doesn't look like much. And don't get me wrong, because that could easily be around 45, 50, maybe even 60% down on your altcoins. And why fight the trend, right? This is the most likely outcome so far. And at least I won't buy resistance, right? As same as longing resistance and shorting support. It's the other way around. Like I said in a couple of videos ago as well, if you feel like shit, but I really don't want to miss out, then just wait a little bit longer, because you see what Bitcoin did when it broke out, retested. Right? Even retested it twice. And that's usually what happens after a breakout, right? So if the total 3 is going to break out, then just wait for the retest and buy there. Because then you buy basically at the same level or even lower, but then with the guarantee that we are not sitting at resistance, but at support. How easy do you want it to be, basically? So that's a reason for, well, yeah, so I have reasons to believe that it's going down, definitely. Also, I have reasons to believe that it's going up, because if Bitcoin manages to stay here, or maybe even goes up, but I don't want to hope for that for now, but even if it manages to stay here or not go down too hard, then we do look at the Bitcoin dominance, and the Bitcoin dominance is sitting at major resistance right now, right? So it is pretty likely that if we follow this trend, that the Bitcoin dominance is going down. And if that is going down, that means that altcoins will outperform Bitcoin. If altcoins outperform Bitcoin, while Bitcoin is not doing too bad, it means that altcoins are going up, right? And we have a long way to go down right here. So if that happens and Bitcoin doesn't crash, then it could give a really good push on the altcoin market. And the altcoin market doesn't need a big push to break out, right? We are basically already there. So a small push is already enough. So that's a reason for me to believe that it might go up this time. And eventually, for example, I like Benjamin Cohen a lot. He's very smart, but he believes that we will see something like this right here, where we were also in this falling wedge, right? I didn't draw perfectly though, but we broke out to the downside, and he believes that we will see something like that again. I don't think that's going to happen. Because overall the altcoin market is way stronger now than in 2018. People really believe in altcoins these days. I remember the vibes back in 2018. People were like, yeah, altcoins are nice, but there was no diehard support or real belief like there is right now. Plus, falling wedges usually break out to the upside, right? Here, it didn't happen. Exactly, but usually they do. So for me, the most likely scenario for me is, and what I hope, is this. That's what I think and hope. So I will try to keep this drawing. Let's just reevaluate in a couple of months whatsoever to see if that was correct. But that's what I hope and think. Well, not think, but this is, in my opinion, most likely. But nevertheless, it's getting really exciting for altcoins now, because, you know, if we do get, and it might be, by the way, that we will see some slow rejection over time, right? And that we will get stuck between this support right here and this resistance right here in the coming weeks. And the real deadline for that, according to my drawing, will be the end of May. So it could need a little more time, but what I do like though is that for now also the altcoin market is really getting support by the bull market support band, like real support, right? We did break out before, like here, but that was more of a fake out, right? We went up, we stayed there for a week, and we went below, right? That's something else than actually breaking it and retesting it like for months as support, right? So this looks a lot more sustainable. Now the bull market support band is going up, of course. So it's a battle between the bull market support band and this legacy line right here, basically. So the bulls and the bears are very strong, but this is the clash of the titans right here, right now, if I have to give it a name. So yeah, I don't know. It's fun times. So altcoin market, very exciting, but I would say there's no rush into buying right now. If it gets rejected, you're happy you didn't buy, and if it does break out, wait for the retest and then buy. There's a high chance we will see a retest because that's just how these breakouts work. Plus, we have this horizontal resistance as well, this red bar that I've drawn right here. So if it does break out, we will probably not, blast through this as well at once. So that's kind of what I'm looking at over the coming days and weeks. Now let's take a look at a couple of altcoins, whatever. Now we're here. I mean, yeah, why not? Also, by the way, before I forget it, today, 12 p.m. UTC, so not too long from releasing this video, ChainGPT gets released. Maybe you participated through Seedify, maybe you didn't, I don't know. I did. I made a video about it. I kind of hope that let me take a look at where I have that video. Okay, let me not show you all my private stuff right here, but I hope that it will do very well, and not just because I invested quite some money into it, but because I've got quite some responses under that video of people saying it's a scam, and here again it's a scam because everything with GPT in its name is a scam. Like, that's a bit judgmental. Someone else as well, no thank you, don't lose your followers with this kind of stuff. And I always try to ask, like, but why, or what up, and but then they never respond. So I don't know what the argument is, and that's kind of sad. But yeah, that's going to release today on KuCoin, Bybit, Maxi, I think like 6 exchanges or so. So that's pretty cool. Myria just launched as well, by the way. I talked about this very quickly because I was looking for this project for months, but it started off freaking high cap. So I decided not to invest in it, but I bought a little bit at around this price, slightly lower, in anticipation to the node sale that has just started, because people need these tokens to buy a node. But yeah, nothing really happens. We had this short spike and it got sold right away, so that shows me some weakness in the project. So I don't know. I'm not gonna do a long-term investment in this project for now. I was thinking about getting a node, but it's $4,500 and it's really expensive. And the tokens are just expensive as well. The price is like really fucking high right now. So yeah, I'm not really touching it. And tomorrow, of course, Delysium gets released. Is it tomorrow? Yeah, it's tomorrow. Tomorrow, Delysium gets released on KuCoin, Bybit, Gate, Maxi, BingX, and I think there was another one. Not sure. KuCoin, Gate, well, whatever. But also a couple of exchanges. So that's really exciting. People speculating about the listing price a lot. Don't be disappointed if it doesn't go to $1. I mean, they list at 3 cents, okay? So it probably won't go to $1 right away. But you have to look at it like this. You get these tokens daily, if you have your DMA, for like 7 years to come or so. So that's enough for Delysium to go through a full bull run, right? It's now April 2023. Bull run will happen in like 2 years probably. So yeah, just saying. Okay. If you look at Gala, for example, they released, and once they released KuCoin, what's it called? CoinGecko doesn't show it completely. But Gala first crashed like 60%, then went up a little bit. But actually, in the bull run itself, it went completely crazy. Same goes if you want to search for something maybe a little comparable, little bit. Illuvium also, at launch yeah, it was okay, you know, but also in the bull run, right, it really mooned, and the bull run doesn't give a shit about token investing and all of that. That's just how it works. So I kind of expect the same for the Delysium. That in a bull run especially, we will really profit from it. Yeah, if you have your DMA, you have a great passive income, in my opinion, that you can really cash out in that period. So I don't know what to expect, but that's yeah, kind of, you know, how I think about it. The rest of the altcoin market, yeah, like I said, the total 3 is just stuck. So the altcoin market is not that spectacular, to be honest. It's just not. If you look at the altcoin market right now, everything is a little red and a little green, but it's all basically close to zero, right? It's not that spectacular, and there are always some coins that stand out. Polkadex, Hex, Redent, Cas, they all crashed a little harder. Then we have Lido, Life, went up a little harder. Overall, everything is kind of boring, to be honest. So I'm waiting for the total 3 to make up its mind. I'm very curious to see what that's going to do. And I would say, if you want to invest some free money into crypto, yes, crypto gives you free money. It's actually true. Again, I'm doing together with Bybit an iPhone 14 giveaway, and all you have to do, links in the description, sign up, deposit at least $100, and just trade. Just buy an altcoin, sell an altcoin, do anything, doesn't matter. That goes for the full month of April, and at the end of the month, we will pick a winner that gets a free iPhone 14, and if the shipping is a problem because you live somewhere far from where it's going to get shipped from or whatever, then you just get $1,000, because that's give or take what it's worth. So you do not have to buy that iPhone. You can also invest $1,000 for free into crypto by just trading $100, what you usually do. So link is down below. That's it for now. I will update you tomorrow on the listings and all of that. So I hope it's going to be really exciting. For now, just like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. Comment down below what you think about the current crypto market. And I'll see you guys very soon.